Anyone else that would like to?
I have one question for you there.
Okay.
On that bridge, is anything being done to locate whoever owns it and have taken it?
We know who owns it. He's been contacted, right, Joe? We've contacted him. And we've contacted, who was it? Somebody else that come in and just take it for scrap and they never go back to it.
The Northeast, what is it, NORCAM? NORCAM is trying to relocate our bridge in another community. They want to take it, and because it has historical value, I guess, and they want to take it and put it over another street. The Iron Bridge. That was what Mr. Winslow told us prior, just before this meeting started.
That could take a long time. I'm not asking for somebody to make a historical monument.
Yeah.
Put these scrap iron that's flooding.
Well, I think all the councilmen are really serious about moving forward with this. Every councilman I've talked to, they're ready to do. I had some problems at the print shop. I didn't get hats printed, and I wanted to get it here. It's time, and I wanted to give Mr. Conway and Mr. Lunsford a hat that says it's time for the COALPORT flood control. And but I didn't get that made, but I wanted to do that. But every one of the councilmen are behind you, and I think that we're going to have a more friendlier council than we ever had, and they're ready to tell you and help you, and I believe that, and I've enjoyed working with them this short time. We have heated discussions sometimes, but we get things done, I think. I didn't know everything that was going on, and I invite you to come watch, and at least if you want to help in the committee work. Are there any other testimonies that?
Yeah, I'm Hazel Prince. I've lived in my house since 1972. We moved in there in May, moved out in June 22nd, and here's how we've been living 3 times. This is my upstairs. All the furniture out there, it's still there. The water just doesn't come up and go down. We live like that for months afterwards. You know, we have a path. We go up and fall in bed. We crawl out. We have a path to the bathroom. And that's it. Until we get insurance money to put carpeting on the floor, I just don't even feel like putting carpeting down anymore. I'm just overwhelmed this time. It's just too much. After 24 years, it wasn't bad fixing up. But now, it's only like a year and a half. It's been April of last year since we got our house fixed up, and now here it is again. And there's an awful lot of widows, speaking of old age, along the creek bank here. And I'm sure they need some help. And like you say, it's time for COALPORT to have some flood control. Past time.
What has happened here? Why, I was born and raised over on the other side of the river, but why in the past couple, 3 years are we being, from a one-day rainstorm like we were this past week, why the hell are we getting 6 feet of water in our houses? When I was born and raised here, and I can only remember, I'm 53, I remember one time seeing the water go over the bridge down the Lagos. All the time I went through school. I lived here since '86 in this house, had no water problems, until they put sewage in, then I started having water problems in my backyard because it's a French drain right to my house. But why the hell are we getting this now? Why haven't we had all those years? Where's it coming from?
Everything's stripped off, Steve. There's nothing wrong with the back.
Who gave the permits to do it? This is what I want to know. If somebody didn't have the sense up there to see that big hill and say, hey, if we let them strip all this coal off of here, these people are going to suffer down here. Who's the bird brain to let them strip all this land when they can't strip something decent where there is coal? No, they let them strip the whole hillside off where there's how many towns down here that's paying the price for it because that water has nowhere to hold back. It just comes down on us. That's the big thing. It
Is
just
that
comes right off.
Is that what's causing it?
We don't make them plant trees back.
Right.
They plant pine trees that grow in 25, 30 years. They did a dark property, but I hope them pines haven't grown into strips since 81.
See, this is the problem I have. I know you need control over dumping hazardous waste and things like that. But why can't we just take that stuff in the creek, throw it up on the bank for now, let it dry out, use it as a barrier deep in the creek, when they can let somebody go up there and strip all that land off and run that water right down here, and it's doing a lot more damage than what that stuff in the creek would do out on the bank. There's no common sense to it.
That's exactly what we're going to do on the 19th. We're going to try to talk to, see if this is under, I'm not sure who is under it. Mr. Conway, is this, would we have to get permits from DEP for the waterways? Yeah. So that's what we're going to try to do, and then we're going to try to see if the Corps of Engineers can come in and deepen the water for the short term.
Couple of large front-end loaders to take that.
Yeah, if I would say tonight, everybody that has a piece of equipment, everybody that has a shovel, you'd all be down there. I'm sure the whole town would come out and be ready to do that. And that's where we're standing. We're at this point where we want to do it ourselves, but we know that there's laws to regulate. Robin?
Jerry, can I just ask then, on behalf of the citizens, that you, Joe, I'd like to thank you for being here tonight, and Carl too, but that you will now go to the Borough Council, and please, you gentlemen, if I am saying something, like if I've interpreted it wrong, but that the Iron Bridge, a letter needs to go from the borough. It's not going to matter if it comes from Denny Bungo or Robin Garman. It needs to come with some type of power behind it. To the owner of that Iron Bridge, and that Iron Bridge is going to be asked to be moved within a certain amount of time, and if not, then something will have to be taken care of. We need that commitment from the borough. The other commitment from the borough will be to notify the state about the situation this gentleman has up there. You know, what I understand, there's monies available, there's help available to help us to understand how to apply for these grants through the county, but it's going to be up to our borough council, who we have all lost hope in, to go ahead and pursue this. And they're committed to us. They're servants of the community because they ran for the local government. They were elected there. If they don't want to do the work, then they have to say, okay, I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm not up to it or whatever. I don't understand. And they need to notify us so that we can do the work. Because we are the people suffering and we will do the work, whatever is involved. But we need a commitment from the borough tonight that you will pursue these problems.
I will definitely make that recommendation. It takes a second to get onto the floor, and I will hope that one of the councilmen tonight will give me a second on the resolution, and then it will be passed.
That's what we need to do, right? We need to pursue these things that are local, and we need to have a commitment that they're going to be followed through.
Right.
Because, 2 years ago, the Iron Bridge was a problem, and we knew it. Now, for the borough, one other thing that I didn't understand, there was a trailer below, or just right outside here, that isn't permanently, on a basement or anything. I don't know who the owner is. I don't know who's responsible. That trailer in that floodwater rose up and took off. If that trailer would have gotten any farther than that telephone pole, all of the houses in southern Clearfield, or in COALPORT, would have had 4 to 5 feet of water in a real quick amount of time. That would not have been part of a natural disaster. That would have been a lawsuit. So why did the Borough Council not get that moved, or I think a letter needs to go to the owner of that trailer, and they need to be notified to get that moved.
Our mayor was arrested trying to remedy that problem. He worked hard on it. Our mayor has been,
I do understand that, but the trailer's still there.
Yes.
The floodwaters came, luckily the telephone pole caught it, and it didn't go down and get,
Unfortunately, that's under litigation, and the police officer will explain something.
Problem we run into with that trailer is that trailer has changed ownership, okay? It was one of the big things. The property owners of that trailer, as of today, I spoke with one of them on the phone, have been informed they now have a certain amount of time to get that trailer out of there. We have been going round and round about this trailer for quite a long time now, just as well as Mr. Spade has, and our mayor, who's been pretty good-hearted about it at this point in time. We went round and round with people, as well as I've had some confrontations with him about it. We're doing everything we can to get that trailer out of there. They've been notified that they have X amount of days to get it out, or we are going to take action. That is being taken care of right now.
how many days?
15. With It's actually 15 working days, but unfortunately, we have one holiday and a couple weekends fall into play in that.
And then what are you gonna do if he doesn't do it?
Well, that's when we can start issuing citations day by day by day. Another thing that slowed that down was that trailer was also tied up in some litigation over some criminal mischief damage that they were waiting to receive restitution for, has also slowed the procedure down. We are working on it. We are trying to get it out there ASAP as soon as possible.
It just seems, Gary, that the borough really should have flood policies set, that when potential floodwaters are coming up, that the bleachers, the garbage, the garbage cans, the benches, any movable things in the park should be moved to higher ground.
Well,
But that should just be flood policy.
Yeah, well, the county does have regulations. I don't know, maybe the borough is lax and we're not in compliance. We probably, like the bleachers, should have had cement anchors down in the ground with chains. I know this because I'm trying to get a trailer court in. Our Honorable County Commissioner, Mr. Lunsford, would like to speak on the issue of dredging.
This is a possibility of, rather than throw this sludge up on the bank. In Clearfield, there's a company, they call it BAM. I don't know what the acronym stands for at the moment. However, what this gentleman is doing right now is hauling in slush from New York. And what he does, he mixes that with fly ash, and to make concrete or cement, it makes it hard, very hard, and he's sealing these mines that, break open now and then and release this acid water. It's a possibility that he would be interested in somehow dredging this or having it dredged and use this material. So it's just a thought. I'll pass it on to you. And again, after the meeting, if I have your names and so forth, then I can contact these people and make them aware of what you're looking for.
Yeah, BAM, they're doing a bridge reclamation up Penfield, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
And they're building the mountain. They're actually building the mountain out of this stuff. And it does, the guy called in there that burnt lime and fly ash. And it gets harder.
I just want to make sure everybody has a chance to speak.
Well, I just have one more remark. You mentioned an ordinance, and the only thing we have in an ordinance countywide is a subdivision ordinance. That's all. We would rather that the municipalities govern themselves. They don't need a big daddy standing over them. You guys know what has to be done, and we sort of will offer a plan for you, but we don't like to implement something that would restrict you that you may not want.
I want to make sure everybody has a chance to speak. If you have, we have, yeah, you put the video in. Chief Snyder's there.
Just give me 1 minute here.
Okay, Councilman Bear would like to speak.
Like I said, I'm going to get a hold of Superior. Is supposed to have our dumpster down the lower end, and Yins can use the dumpster in the park. But I've been in contact with Lieutenant Connors at Coyana Boot Camp. And they will come up and clean the creek up for us, but they will not cut the trees down. We'd have to do that ourselves. But they'll clean the creek, burn it, haul it away, whatever we want to do. That will be probably in the spring after I get the application in, because they're busy up to that point with other projects. And I've been in constant contact with him right now, and we've both been in contact with Bud George, so things are trying to get started. We haven't been on council since '72, so we're just new and we're just trying to get things started.
Mayor Byers, did you have something you might want to talk about?
Already, I can't listen.
Okay. Councilman Evelyn. Okay, Rob, go ahead.
I'm really sorry, but I had all these questions, and, I'm involved with the Little League and the Teener League, and, we have all the problems with, in the area, and, we need to do what we can for the kids. And I was just wondering, I never really knew if there was money allotted to the park from the flood of 1996, and I would like to know if money was received from, FEMA or whatever to the park. If so, how much, and how the money was spent, or where the money is.
13,000. This was received for the park and other areas, $13,763 was received. Now what I'm reading from is Borough Council meetings. It means, it was in the paper of Borough Council meeting. So I wasn't on council then, but they were doing it. They were working. They were working hard at that time. And it says here, for the park and other areas, $13,763 was received. And for Myers Run, which has been a problem, and we've lost a person. That's been a casualty of a flood. We've lost a person who's died from the flood. And that $1,036 was received. And these funds, I think this is where there's a lot of confusion. These funds are 75% of the submitted estimates. And let's see. So there was, maybe Joe, would you remember this and might be able to speak to this?
We just want to know where it went.
The Myers
We've been asking for 2 years, and I went to a council meeting, and I'm not saying you weren't on the council then, but I was told to sit down and shut up. Next, point blank, I was told to sit down and shut up.
The Myers Run project was done. That money was spent.
We got about a $300 dugout so far.
And the coaches built that.
The coach is full, we built the dugout.
I forget how many loads of sand.
I'll let it wash away.
Well, it was there. You can't help but wash it away.
It's not you guys' fault. I'm not saying it's you guys' fault. People feel, why go to a council meeting, because if they don't want to answer you, there's certain people on there who just tell you shut up. We're moving on to the next thing.
This is real good, but I don't want to keep you all here all night, but I want to make sure everybody's had a chance to speak and that every issue has been dealt with. And see, Carl's on the finance committee, and I don't know exactly, but Paul told me that all the money's spent.
Wait a minute, hold it. I got something to say right now. After 2 weeks before Little League was over, I spoke with Mr. Winslow. He told me that week, within a week, there was going to be a backstop put us to Little League. Nothing.
Well, Joe,
I can say the stop's been ordered, but I can't say when it's going on.
Yeah.
Well, your bleachers right now is
We know where they're at.
down the township.
Here's
So they belong to the township now.
Okay, here's the thing.
the last meeting that I can remember, Joe Nemec might, because he sat right beside me, and maybe he heard different than me, but I thought I heard that they put this off, finishing building, and because until next year.
Correct.
But the money's all spent on the right things. It's just not all been completed, and I'm glad it's not now.
Well, one year, the little team sat on a bleacher, a bench.
A bench.
Then this year, the coach is building a dugout. So now we're looking at 2 years with backstop that was pumped up with 2 befores.
After a lot of money seems to have been
Yeah,
received.
and the money,
You want to know the best part? They put poles up in the outfield, took the fence down, left poles up for kids to be out there playing ball with poles up. I called them, and I said, look, I think it was Joe I talked to. Remember Joe? I said, you better get them poles down, because people from up in Blandburg come down here, and they said, if their kid falls, and one of them poles goes through their back, there's going to be a lawsuit. So they took the poles down. No fence, but the poles were up. I mean, we feel when we go to meetings, and I'm not saying it's the same now, I know Carl and you have done a lot. And Joe, I've never had trouble with Joe, but there's certain ones, when they don't want to listen to you, they just shut you out, you sit down and shut up, and we're throwing you out. And that's not the way it should be. When a person has the floor, they should listen to that person, and that's the way it should be. But they will not. And they've said, why don't you run for council? Okay, maybe if there was 3 or 4 that would, I mean, you stood a chance, but one person doesn't stand a chance. I mean, there is some on there that are so set in their ways that this is the way it is, this is the way it's going to be, we don't have to account for this, we don't have to account for that. That's not the way it is, because I know when you go up there, you can demand to see the books, and they have to open them to you. And that's
Supposed to.
right.
if this money is spent, is there a printout of what it was spent on that we can look at?
I'm sure there is.
I know there is.
I mean, was it the stuff at the park? Was it spent on stuff at the park?
Because they're doing more now
Yeah,
in...
look at the same print, I'd see if we both saw it at the same time.
What we're saying is, our kids are growing up. Now, my boy doesn't play Little League anymore, he's in the Teener League. So I'm going to fight for the Teener League field instead of Little League, which, that's the way it goes. But that's why people don't get involved around here. because we offered to build dugouts that were on skids so we could pull them out of the park. And Joe was at the meeting, Joe heard me say it. No, we're not listening to that.
Well, this is the thing that I'm trying to push, that we be able to make recommendations, and I'll make every recommendation that you want to push through. But it takes, I'm only one out of 7.
Right.
And they have a right to their opinion. And
So do the people.
yeah, so that means that you're going to have to talk to them, lobby them. You're going to have to talk to them. You're going to have to write letters to them. You're going to, because they're people just like you are, Joe.
I really don't like to say anything, but I think we should have a point of order here, getting off the meeting.
Okay.
Well, we're not really, because this was the flood of '96, and our park is devastatedly flooded, and that's all our children have here. And if we don't start caring at least about our children, who in the heck's going to care about me in my basement getting flooded next year or next month? It is the same subject, Joe, and it's almost 2 years. If the borough got $13,763, and in 2 years is not fixed, sure, we can look now and say, thank goodness, but that's 2 years of my son's Little League or Tutor League career down the drain. It's all flood. It has all been reflected to the flood.
Contractor, he didn't come. Then at the end of the year, the season was over. He said he'd come in the spring. If he would have come and fixed it, we'd have been done again.
How many loads of sand did the borough pay and bring in there that has been washed away?
2 loads.
Too many.
Hey, well, I fixed my house up last year. They just ripped $3,000 worth of carpeting out of it. It's only been in for a year and a half. So what's the difference, my house with the carpeting or the Little League?
Aren't you supposed to fix that? My whole new kitchen's done, my bottom cupboards, all my carpeting, all my walls are bowed up. When you get the money, you're supposed to fix up, I thought.
And if it gets flooded, we get it again. That's all. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're
We're putting money into it, then we're putting it in again because it gets flooded. So why couldn't it
This
just
time I have no
Because right
carpeting
now
down
it's
there,
all
but I don't
hindsight.
have any carpeting for
We
24
lost it.
more years, because I don't care anymore.
I'll apologize then for not having I'm not on the park, but I'll apologize for not having the backstops.
Well, now we're trying to
Contractor
flat.
didn't come and he wouldn't put them up. But I'll apologize. That was the thing this year, Dean, the contractor didn't show up. He was supposed to have that up before the season started.
Right.
Because we had that stuff ordered, it was here, or he had it, he was supposed to be here in the spring before the season started.
I don't know if you
I
want
know that for a fact, and then he canceled, and they got into the season.
Okay, right after the flood, Carl, there was about 7 or 8 of us that offered, if they would buy that stuff, we'd put it up ourselves.
Yeah.
Because a guy in Blandberg showed us how, they put theirs up and they told us how to do it. And we were shot down, nothing was bought, and that's true. We offered to do all that work for nothing. We used to go down there and cut the grass, trim around the bushes, trim around the backstop, move the bleachers, cut the grass, ourselves, the Little League people. We built the signs up for that fence down there. They weren't taken care of. They're floated away. We're the ones that went to the lumber companies, got the donations to build them signs for people to advertise. Nothing was taken care of. But we're the ones that lost it. That's what we're saying.
Well, again, I say, some of the stuff you can help by writing down, get it to our attention. Mr. Leitner, you had a statement.
Anything I like to say, I'm from the township, okay? I like to see everybody working together. Instead of criticizing, everyone unite, work together. You get so much more done. If your public officials don't listen to you, hey, then next time, hey, they're not there because you vote for them, right? And I feel, I've been to many meetings, and I hate to hear anyone being criticized. If I don't like what you're doing, I will come and tell you. United we stand, divided we fall. In a small town like this, we all have to work together. I know I've been through all these floods. I've had my machines on a job at every flood. We move trailers out down here. Mr. Burns will tell you. We spend many, many hours with machines trying to help people, and we never ask for nothing. And that's what I say, we unite and help one another instead of criticizing. It's easy to criticize, but it's pretty hard to unite sometimes. That's it.
But I think in return, you were going to a home that was sitting on higher ground.
That's right, that's why I was there to help. Hey, I'm not weird, I'm here tonight, okay?
But what I'm saying is, you never lived in.
It's different. It's different when it's
I
you.
appreciate your help and everything, but
The main thing is tonight.
I never thought nothing about was like till I came to live in Coalport. I watched it on TV and I just turned my head. But when I was in one, I went, but it's not.
I just have one final thing to say. It's, as you know, we, the county commissioners, declared an emergency disaster last Saturday when we were here. One thing I want you to do is the losses that you have occurred, make sure you inventory, document, and if you can, have pictures of that. Bill Swatsworth and Bob Beisch, our emergency management directors and assistant director, have toured the areas with a gentleman from FEMA. And I don't know what will become of it yet, but we do need you to have documentation of your losses, and hopefully something good will happen. You can contact me. I'd like to have just a couple of people here tonight. Give me, as I mentioned, Robin and Dennis or Steve, whatever. And you can contact me, and I in turn will get in touch with those who I think will be a most immediate help. So before we leave, we'll do that, okay? Thank you very much.
If nobody else has anything, we can adjourn this meeting, but this is not the end of it. This is not the end, we'll be glad to play the tape. Chief Snyder, can you help us? It's ready to go. On this, Gary Bars took these pictures. He was devastated for the second time.
The trees down lower, we need a permit.
There's coffee back there too, if you'd like some coffee.
And the chief of police was supposed to have popcorn here first too.
Yeah, they said they were driving out. I said, you're pushing her out. I don't know if any people want them to handle the plan because they're short. They don't get what
This meeting was held in the COALPORT Fire Department Hall. It was a public meeting inviting all the residents to come and to share their experience. The Honorable Michael Conway came after I had called his office at 5 o'clock Friday. He graciously came the following Monday night to be in this meeting. Unfortunately, we don't have his speech, but it is well documented that he served us well here in Coalport Borough with his work as Director of Waterways and Engineering. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed the program.